Hello, I'm Claire Snowden, darling,
I'm Laura Knowles,
and we are going to talk to you about our brilliant stages of wellness.
which is also, we do refer it to as stages of treatment in some of our
Yes,
resources, but we have upgraded it to stages of wellness.
we've upgraded our language.
Stages of wellness is a really important part of our training process because it enables our students and then practitioners or coaches to be able to know what order to work in when they're working with a client. And this is really important because if, for example, we start off with blood sugars and the stress response, and this it's really, really important. It's often an area that coaches and nutritionists miss out because they don't know the importance of it.
Yeah.
However, when we really understand how hormones work, we know that things like the sex hormones and the digestive system and the immune system are going to be on red alert if we are in a blood sugar roller coaster. So we got to start there. Or if we're super stressed, the body is just not going to digest. It's just going to prioritize the stress. So there's no point in working on the digestive system if we've got someone who is super stressed.
Yes, and I think for me, this was about breaking through quite a lot of the health myths in this industry, where as practitioners we can suddenly get quite reactive, like, well, we must do a detox. Everyone's talking about we must do detoxing, we must do detoxing. And actually, the truth is, if we are not getting in the way of it, our body will do the detox. So, how do we, rather than go on a massive juice fast that's actually going to cause loads of headaches and make you feel horrendous, how do we actually just stop getting in the way of the body doing what the body is going to do? Rather than just like a lot of people will go, oh, I've got Candida or SIBO, I must do a SIBO diet, I must do a Candida diet. Actually, the truth is that when you put the foundations in place, very often it actually fixes things further down the chain. Why would you spend a massive amount of time, money, effort, sorrow on doing like a huge sort of, treating a specific thing with a load of supplements and a load of, restrictive diet when putting the foundations in place actually fixes it further along? So many things in my experience in the complementary health world are back to front.
Mm.
And it's very often it's doing things for the sake of doing it because we can and because, well, this we should do this. No, when we get the really good foundations in place, a lot of the other stuff will just it just follows on. And then when it doesn't, then we can start to apply the right tools.
Love it. Okay, I want to share my screen because I want to show what the stages of wellness are and to talk through them. So this is the stages of wellness. So we start by removing the triggers. The food intolerances is a huge part of what we
Mm-hmm.
do. And we have lectures. If you are interested in learning more about food intolerances, we've got a lecture. It's a whole, I think it's 90-minute talk on food intolerances alone. It's something we can talk about a lot. And we're also looking at a toxic environment and toxic chemicals. And we want to remove the stressors that are in the environment and to see where the person is when they are removed. And so you will learn in our training courses which food intolerances to focus on, which are the biggies. When you're not getting results from cutting those out, which ones do you go to next? We've created a food intolerance hierarchy that we work with. So once the triggers are removed, then we're looking at stress. Like I said, if the body is super stressed, then like putting someone on a detox who is super stressed, you are just going to make the endocrine system have a cry. So
Yeah.
we really want to focus on stress reduction. And in our diploma courses, we teach you the coaching so that you're able to help someone deal with the stresses in their lives. But we also teach you how to work with food, how to take the stress out in their diets, and also which supplements are going to support. So we work a lot with adaptogens and magnesiums, for example. So you can see underneath the stress reduction, and then we're moving into hormone balancing. we're using things like the macronutrient balancing in our food strategies and the micronutrient replacing. So we're working with high nutrient dense foods and also some supplements. The hormone balancing is super interesting. This is where we are really understanding where someone is with their estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, and how we can naturally support someone with that. We also look at if there is more support needed, maybe more hormone support needed, where someone can go to and how they can have those conversations with, say, specialists or doctors. Keep going?
Mm.
Want me to keep going?
Yeah, you're doing lovely.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. So then we move on to, once we've got all of the stress sorted out and the triggers are out, then we can start looking a little bit more at detoxing. And it's Claire's right. I often get inquiries saying, do you cover detoxing? Yes, we do, but it is part of the stages of wellness. So this is where we're looking at things like estrogen detoxing. This is understanding that our environment, there are a lot of xenoestrogens. They are chemicals that mimic estrogen in the body, and so that we can use specialist techniques and tools to be able to help the body clear those out and to produce estrogen more naturally. The digestive system comes next. So now we've got the triangle in place. If you don't know what the triangle of hormonal health is, check out our other videos. But once that is in place, so that is your blood sugars, your stress, and your sex hormones, then we can start to really look at the digestive system. And this is where we are doing things like working with SIBO, working with bacteria, looking at herbs. We're making sure we maybe go deeper into food intolerances. We're helping support the gut microbiome. We're helping repair the gut. And then we're looking at immune function. And the reason that we do immune function after the digestive system is that a huge chunk, I mean, I see different stats, but 60 to 70% of our immune system is in the digestive system. So there is no point in focusing on the immune system if the digestive system isn't working. And if we're going to start looking at addressing things like inflammation, viral repair, heavy metals, mold, methylation, if we're going to look at any of those areas, we need to do it on a balanced body. We need to have a client who is eating well, who is not in a toxic environment, who is not stressed to the max, who has balanced hormones, has a digestive system that is working. And that's how we get results. And then we are looking at, that's the whole piece of that's the whole puzzle. If you get to that stage, and there are clients who are a little bit trickier, I mean, Claire and myself were those tricky clients, is then you can start to look at referrals. And this is, we give you the guidance of the specialist that you need to be talking to, maybe lab tests. If you are a UK student, then you have the option of being able to order your own lab tests. If you're international, then you will be looking for those partnerships so that you can refer your clients on, so that they know that they have a process that you're working through. And if you get to the end of your process and you haven't got the answers, you know where to send them.
I love that. And I know that some of my clients have loved when we get to the point, you know, with some really tricky clients where it's like, okay, and now here's the next stage. So I can hold your hand every single step of the way, and even can be so honest about, this is now outside of my remit. I love that, rather than trying to just sort of fudge it and, you know, trying to work out what to do. Like, actually, from a place of integrity, it feels so good.
Yeah, and I think that the stages of wellness, it gives it this real holding. And so in that first appointment, as a coach, you can have that conversation with your client and say, if they're coming to you for immune system issues, okay, we're going to get to the immune system, but I need to make sure that everything is in place before we even start looking at that. And they'll feel the confidence in you that you know where you're taking them.
Yeah.